Welcome to the Transforming Lives panel, the podcast where inspiration and transformation converge. Each week, we come together to explore the depths of personal growth and life-changing experiences. Come along with us as we deep dive into personal stories. Through intimate conversations, our guests and panel reveal the pivotal moments that have defined their paths, shown their strengths, and formed their passions. We are so happy you are here, and we welcome you to our circle where empathy and empowerment are always at the forefront.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the Transforming Lives panel podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sharman, and Mitzi is here with us today, along with a guest. And customarily, we start with a grounding exercise. So just join us. If you are able to, you can close your eyes. If not, just join us in taking a deep breath in so that we can come together and be one for the next 45 minutes and let go as you exhale of the stress, the tension, the challenges, anything that you've gathered today. Just let it go and join us to take another deep breath in so that we can be grounded and centered and let go of everything that you have to do after the next 45 minutes. And we want to thank you for this opportunity, for spending your time with us. And as you join us again, thank you so much for dedicating your time for the next 45 minutes with us. And as I said, we have a guest, and Dr. Theresa Pantanella has chartered a remarkable journey from being a doctoral level occupational therapist to becoming a beacon in direct response marketing. After dedicating 24 years to healthcare, she ventured into the depths of online marketing, achieving 2 prestigious certifications from Digital Marketeer for an analyst of paid ads and social media marketing, achieving an average of, a 4 times return on ad spend for her clients. Her ability to leverage AI keenly aids in her paid ad strategies. Dr. Pantanella founded the Accelerated AI Club to serve other entrepreneurs in mastering AI. And she is on a personal mission to impact entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches, and so many more. I am excited, and I am sure you are also. And of course, Mitzi is also excited. Welcome, Dr. Pantanella. Welcome to the Transforming Lives panel podcast. And I know today you will inspire us, you will empower us, and we will embrace all the nuggets and the lessons that you offer us. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Sharman, for that beautiful introduction. I appreciate it. And thank you for having me, Mitzi and Sharman. It's an honor to be here, to be a part of your podcast and impacting the lives of the listeners. I know the listeners have got many things going on. And as you said in our beginning grounding exercise, let go of what you need to do 45 minutes from now and be focused, be present. One of my mentors always said, be positive, be present, and practice perfect.
Ooh, I love that. So, Dr. Pantanella, what caused the shift from occupational therapy to digital marketing.
Oh, Sharman, it's quite a story. My goodness. I know there's listeners that can relate, and I see where Mitzi has elevated herself to this incredible specialty area in real estate. And this is the sort of thing that when you have a dream and a focus, it drives you. So when you're thinking about making a change, for me, I became unenamored of healthcare. It was one of those scenarios where I recall graduating from Ohio State University, proud as could be, I had my bachelor's degree. And I thought to myself, well, I guess I'll do this for 20 years or so. And I followed in the footsteps of my grandfather and my father, who are both entrepreneurs. And I built a thriving business, outpatient therapy clinics. I had 7 of them throughout the South Florida area, and 14 employees. I met a man, totally circumstantial. He was having breakfast with somebody I was supposed to meet. And the person that I was supposed to meet thought it'd be great if I met this other guest of his. He was the founding president of the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine. I'd never heard of such a thing. I was used to, I'm in South Florida every January. The snowbirds come down, they get their therapy. I work with their doctors from up north, make sure I have the proper prescriptions. I would work with their doctors down here, make sure everybody got the proper reports. And come the March or April, a lot of them would go back up north and we'd make sure all their records were transferred. Some of them would come back the following year and maybe they'd have the same problem or be a little worse or just a little better. And the cycle would continue year after year after year. And I met this man who spoke about anti-aging. I said, well, what are you talking about? We all have to age. I knew from my own training, my doctorate degree is in occupational therapy, our cells grow and die on a regular ongoing basis. So what do you mean we're not going to age? He said, well, the body ages because it doesn't have what it needs. And I kept thinking about the patients that came every year with the same problem. And what if they really did have what they needed? I was curious. I began to study. And he would teach me, go here, learn this, learn that. I started listening to different, it was a whole paradigm shift in my mind. I realized there was a better way for the people. And healthcare probably wasn't where I needed to be anymore. I didn't feel comfortable serving people in a system that I no longer believed in.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So for the listeners, when you're looking at what you're doing every day, does it serve your values? Because a lot of your inner happiness is going to come from that. I once heard a story about a man working for a public figure that was very controversial. And someone asked him, how can you work for this man? Don't you know he's XYZ PDQ? And the man was like, I hold a space of goodness for him, that he will find goodness in the world and he will be good to others. He was living his values. He was living his beliefs. And I encourage you, when you're out there and you're not happy, see if there's an alignment between what you believe in and what you're doing every day, because it does make a difference. For me, the fun part of my healthcare business was the marketing. I love going and seeing the doctors. I love planning the promotional parties. I love doing speaking at events. I loved going to different events and having the tchotchkes to pass out. I thought, well, if I could do marketing and not be location dependent, what does that look like? Because see, in order to make a change in your life, in order to transform your life, you need to have a vision. And that vision needs to be clear in your mind, so clear and so dominating that you wake up every morning feeling like, that's me. That's where I'm going. So for me, to be non-location dependent, I would have to work online. Video seemed to be the way to go. I learned how to produce videos. I learned how to edit videos. I learned how to put them on websites. I learned how to build the websites. I learned how to get that website on the first page of Google. I spent a year and a half at a mastermind working with other people, teaching them how to do all that. I was having a great time. It was a lot of fun. And I was living my values. I was doing something for people that made them smile, made me happy, was not location dependent. And I could really go forth and end each day happy. And one of the people I was teaching, she said, well, when you're doing your SEO, that stands for search engine optimization. And that means when you go to search for something online, whatever comes up in that first page of Google, they're the ones that knew what to do to get onto the first page of Google. That's what SEO means. SEO means you're getting on the first page of Google if you do it right. So one of the gals I was teaching, she wanted to use Facebook ads instead of the SEO. Well, it doesn't really work. But what do I know? So I asked, what are Facebook ads? Whole different ballgame. Woo! It was the difference between going to the farmer's market versus going to a great big huge store. Because when you go to the farmer's market, you got your bags hanging off your arms and you're chatting with people and you're having samples and you're having a good time and you're meeting people and you're paying for things with cash. You go to that great big huge store, you got your holding everything on tight and you've got your list and you're tempted with all the big buys and you're figuring out if you need it or not. You've got these big boxes of things and big bulk purchases, whole different ballgame, right? Same end result, you go home with food. So with the SEO, you get your website on the first page of Google. With Facebook ads, you get people to your website with the right message. I was fascinated. Well, how does this work? What do you mean? I can just run an ad and people go to the website. I don't have to do all this SEO work. There's a lot of work. And she taught me. And then I got wind of a really, really cool gal. She was a bartender in Kentucky, took an internship in Texas at a digital marketing agency, became their vice president, and launched their annual event that is now a go-to for every single person in online marketing. I started following her. When did I start following? 2018. By 2020, I had latched onto Facebook ads as my sole focus. Night and day, I read everything you could possibly learn about a Facebook ad and learned some really cool techniques. Really enjoyed it. Phenomenal stuff. Living my dream, living that vision of not being location dependent and doing marketing. And I tell you, Sharman and Mitzi, there is a whole different world out there between healthcare and online marketing. Yeah. Healthcare, there's regulations, there's rules, there's reimbursement issues, there's reports to be filed. There's, I was always concerned about my therapist's education. I was always making sure they were cross-training each other, making sure they had the right CEUs, making sure they had the right support from the office. Marketing, my team is virtual. I've yet to meet any of them. I've worked with one gal for 7 years. She's in Texas. I'm in Florida. We've chatted many times on Zoom. I worked for an agency. I met the owner of the agency once, and that was in that famous digital marketing conference. And there's not a lot of regulations other than the terms of service on Facebook. Nobody's going to get hurt. There's no third-party reimbursement. There's more ways than one to make your message come to shine. I really, when you're looking at transforming your life, and you're headed down that path, there's going to be moments where, and I had them, and I know, Mitzi, when you develop that whole focus view for real estate of being a senior specialist, my goodness, I'm sure there were moments where you're like, is this really the way to go? Is this really what I'm going to do? I know for me, I had those moments, and those moments are normal. You know, I think of, the story of you have two wolves. The older Indian man was talking to the younger Indian boy, and the older Indian man told the young boy, you need to know you have two wolves, and they're both very hungry. You can only feed one. You cannot feed both. You do not have enough food to do that. If you feed the one that makes you a good man, you will become a good man. If you feed the wolf that makes you a bad man and takes you off your path, your destiny will not be fulfilled. So when you have those doubts, which wolf is asking for food?
Interesting analogy. I like that. Sort of that reflection as to how and why it pulled you that way, and you can see when you talk about what you were doing previously in healthcare that it was great, you were successful, but it wasn't fulfilling somehow. That felt like something was missing.
Right.
And when you launched onto the marketing and started diving into that and really working, but you could see even when you were talking about it, your expression, your liveliness, your passion, your feeling, right? It's like it just naturally comes out, because when you find what you're passionate about, and for some people they find it right away, and for others it takes many twists and turns, and it can change as we grow and go through our life. But you could see how once you were into that, like that shift in that transformation that occurred for you.
Yes. Thank you, Mitzi. Thank you. And for the audience, know that if when you're feeling good about yourself, you're on the right path. You're doing what fulfills you. Yeah. And
what about the challenges that you found as you were sort of making that transition and diving into a whole new thing of doing the lead generation and shifting even from SEO as the main thing you were doing to Facebook ads as the main thing you're doing? And is that still the main thing that you do, is the Facebook ads? Are there other things that are part of it as well, or is that the main focus?
Those are good questions, Mitzi. Thank you. Yeah, the biggest challenge I went through was developing the network. Because when you're in healthcare, I knew doctors, I knew nurses, I knew case managers, and I'd worked for years to develop these relationships. Well, for me to suddenly turn around and go, hey, I can make your video, didn't go over really good. My biggest challenge was to go to different networking groups where these services are needed, and I could develop relationships there. So thank goodness there was a local organization that I was able to go to and make some relationships there, which was very helpful. And there was one gentleman in that organization that he said, there's a couple guys that are really good with websites, and I think they're up near West Palm Beach. This was in the day and age when something called Periscope was really popular. And these guys did a Periscope from like the Pizza Hut or something like that. And I was like, well, those must be the two guys. They were the ones that I learned SEO from. I looked them up. I signed up immediately. And so that the biggest challenge was making that transformation from being very comfortable with all of these wonderful relationships I had in healthcare over here to like starting fresh and new and building new relationships. And I wasn't sure. I thought for sure these were the two guys, because my world, as far as internet marketing was like this big. It was like this little inky dinky thing. I've since found out they probably weren't the guys.
Just found two random guys. It's like, hey, you look like I can learn something from you. Why not?
Because I've since learned there's a lot of really, really big gurus in that area. Oh my gosh, maybe those were the guys. I'm very, very grateful to them, Joe Troyer and Ben Pate, because they saw my skills, and they're the ones that invited me to stay as long as I did in the SEO mastermind, and introduced me to everyone they know. And matter of fact, I'm still in contact with some of those ladies. Yeah, that's the cool part.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, how has AI affected your business, or has it? And if so, how is it affecting it?
Oh, AI is so much fun. Oh my gosh. I can't encourage everybody enough to find a basic course on AI. Go find a basic course, because you know what? When you see what this stuff can do to increase the quality of your life, increase the amount of time that you have to spend with your family, because you don't spend as much time doing other chores, you're going to be thrilled. Oh my gosh. Did you know you can give AI a picture of what's in your refrigerator and ask it, what do I make for dinner tonight? And it will give you some ideas and the recipe. Yeah. How many times have you stood there? What am I going to make for dinner tonight?
I order pre-made meals because I can't cook to save my life. So
You've got that one down then, Mitzi. So did you know you can use AI to plan your next vacation?
Mhm. Yes,
Yeah.
vacations are very important.
Yes. Tell it what you want to do, where you want to go, and it will find the information for you. I have a mentor in AI. He flies around the world speaking, and he saved, like, I forget how many thousands of dollars having AI plan his itinerary, finding the lowest cost flights. So you can use AI for that. When I use AI for my business, I love using AI for ideas. And no matter what you're doing, let's say you need to, your child has a special project at school and you're not sure where to start. You can ask AI. It's an idea generator. I use it for ideas for campaigns, for ads. I use it for ideas for, I'll tell the Chat GPT or the Claude AI, I'll tell it, I have a client. He's advertising this XYZ product, and this product is perfect for, this kind of woman. Tell me, why would they want this product? And it gives me ideas. And then I can sit there and think about it and go, okay, this will work, that'll work. And not only that, I get a better idea of who to advertise to. So, for example, one of my clients is a luxury travel client. And he has clients in his agency that will spend up to 70,000 pounds on a vacation. He's in London. He's in England. Well, I've never spent that kind of money on a vacation.
I wish.
Now, listeners, pick yourself up off the floor. Yeah, get back in your chair. I know that was shocking. So I went to AI. What do they like? What does that kind of vacation look like? So I have to know. I can't run the ads. It's a game changer. Now, I spoke with someone today, a colleague. He's in my accelerated AI club. I have a lovely club that people come to. We meet a couple times a month. Sometimes we have a guest speaker, sometimes we don't. And he was sharing with me how he had built a system on using AI to get repetitive tasks done. For example, after he meets with a client, he likes the transcription of that meeting downloaded. And then he wants to know if there's any information that can be turned into a blog article. He needs an email to go out to the client telling them, this is what your homework is. This is the synopsis of our meeting. And then he also needs for the document planners in his office to know if they have any tasks to do. And he built this whole system out on AI. And I said, he was commenting on the costs involved in running that system. And I said, well, isn't that less expensive than if someone wants to do all that hourly? And he laughed. He said, actually, what the big benefit is, he said, yes, it is less expensive, but the big benefit is it gets done. And he admitted, yeah, sometimes I know I'm supposed to send an email to a client, and yeah, sometimes it gets done, sometimes it doesn't. And I'm like, okay, I appreciate his transparency. When you're colleagues, you talk clean like that. It's a good thing. So imagine if you had like something that you knew you were supposed to do and you just didn't want to bother doing it. What those thank you notes after a party. Good old thank you notes. Imagine if like AI was going to write your thank you notes for you. And now here's the thing. This is interesting. Okay. Here's the great debate with AI. Some people are saying, oh my God, it's a robot. That's not me talking. Here's the thing. It's your words. The robot might say, thank you, da 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 da. You're the one writing it. It's still coming from you. There's people that are cloning themselves and making videos. And people are saying, oh, that's not you. That's fake. It's their words. It may be a likeness of them. It's their words.
Yeah,
So,
that's the amazing thing with AI, right? Is you can train it on your style, your voice,
yes.
your methods, and bring that out in what you're doing.
Yes, and training's not hard. You give it a few examples of what you do. Like I give it a lot of my email examples. If I have Facebook posts that are doing really well for my ads, I will show it those posts and say, can you write me a few more like this? Give me more ideas. What graphics would go with these better? And then I'll try out different graphics with those winning posts. Let's say for something like greeting cards, maybe you like to make cards or something like that. It's going to come up with ideas for you and what to write in the cards. I know for planning a party, it can help you plan a party. Everything from the decorations to what will the invitations look like. This is the sort of thing that it's very helpful. It saves time. And then that's the time you can spend doing other things that you enjoy, like your guests at the party. You're no longer sweating out, I forgot the such and such. It'll make you a list of what you need to do. And it'll even come up with a schedule for you on when you need to do everything. I mean, it's like, it's to me, it's so amazing to make your life so much easier. Why wouldn't you want that in your life? And Sharman, you look like you're going to say something.
I'm smiling because, of course, I love AI. And as I listen to you, one of the things I usually share with persons who are apprehensive of using AI, I'll tell them that it's the prompts.
Yes.
The important thing is the prompts that you feed into the AI, and explain the different kinds, the large language models, etc. But I thank you for that, because we may have listeners there. There's so many people who don't understand AI,
Right.
entrepreneurs whose lives can become easier. What would
Yes.
you say to them?
What would I say to them? Ah, there's a story about a woman cutting off the top of the ham. And no matter what the meal was, when it came to ham, she'd cut off the top of the ham. And her husband said, honey, you've done that for years. Why are you cutting off the top of the ham? Why are you wasting so much ham? She said, I don't know. It's my mother did it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The husband asked the mother-in-law, why do you cut off the top of the ham? And the mother-in-law said, well, so it fit in the oven. Now, I ask the listeners, do you want to be the one that always cuts off the top of the ham? Or do you want to be the one that learns a new way to do it?
Yeah, it's very good. It's funny. I've never heard it with the top of the ham. I heard it as cutting off both ends of the roast beef.
Oh,
So that it would fit in the pan, and the exact same kind of story, right? So you can see how these things evolve. But that's so true, right? We get in
get
habits
it right.
of doing things a certain way because they work, but you know, it's awesome to be using things that work, but you also have to spend some time exploring if there's a better way to do something and looking for those options. And especially with the mass of evolution that is occurring right now with AI.
Yes. Yes. I have a dear friend who's 92 years old. And I kid you not, to see her whiz around on her cell phone is amazing. We were doing some baking the other day. Instead of using the timer on the stove, she whipped out her phone. She knew it had a timer on it. That is someone who's going to live a long time because she's open to new ideas and she's willing to learn new things. The quality of her life is she's happy. And learning new things, when you learn new things, your brain cells are invigorated. You're developing new neuronal connections. That keeps you younger. That gives you vitality. Learning new things is one of the best things you can do to keep your mind active and to stay positive. So why not learn AI? I know some of my friends, they're like, oh, I want to go learn painting. That's beautiful because the creative arts lend themselves to being creative with AI. The more AI is going to seep into our world and become something we use on a daily basis, the more the creative arts will be important to each of us, and community and human touch. Don't think of using a robot as taking away from your life. Think of it as giving you time to use your human touch and your humanness to reach out to others. Maybe there's a neighbor you haven't said hi to in a while. Well, now you've got some time to do that. AI is going to plan your party for you, right? You can go invite your neighbor to the party.
Well, it is. I mean, it is a revolution the same way as, I don't know why this popped into my mind, but there was a ride at Walt Disney World. I don't think they still have it, but you used to sort of go around, like the audience moved into different scenes and it was showing how things have evolved. And so, at the first one, it's like, they don't have any electricity or anything, and then the next scene they've moved in and now they've got like an ice box and electricity, and then the audience moves into a new scene and now, they've got, computer technology and TVs, right? And
Yeah.
one of the things that they was talking about is, you think about, how long it used to take to do a load of laundry, right? I mean, that was an entire day for a woman was doing the laundry because it was all done by hand, right? You throw in a washing machine and a dryer, now you've freed up 7 hours that you didn't have before to be doing something else. And AI is like that. It can help us get rid of the mundane and have more time for the exciting.
Yes. Do away with the mundane. Absolutely. That's a wonderful analogy, Mitzi. I like that story. And you're right. Over time, everything evolved to the point where it took less time to do housekeeping tasks. I mean, how many of you, let's be honest, have a Roomba or some kind of robotic vacuum cleaner?
I do.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, exactly. That's the sort of thing that was life-changing for you because now you don't have to spend that time vacuuming, right? Yeah. And I really believe that over time, it's going to be very normal for us to have ChatGPT or another large language model on our phone so that we can easily communicate with it and get the information we want. And I know only 11% of businesses currently are using AI. So there's a whole transformation that's going to be transpiring over the next few years. I mean, think of it as like Well, Siri is AI, artificial intelligence in your home. I know some of the fast food restaurants have gone to these kiosks where you walk up and it's a touchscreen to order. Yeah. Now imagine if you walked in and it knew who you were and it had your order ready for you.
Coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
So there are hotels in China where you have no interactions with humans. When
Oh my
you
God.
place an order, room service, when you hear the doorbell, it's a robot that brings your food
Wow.
or your change of linen. So I usually like to say to persons who are apprehensive that there's advancement in other parts of the world.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's important that you catch up. And just to add, I heard you say that we'll soon have AI on our phones. Apple just added Claude
Uh-huh.
to our, so now we have Claude as an AI assistant on our Apple phones.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, and I think that came out last week,
Oh
late
my
last
God.
week.
That's
So
fantastic.
yeah, yeah. I just want you to do a little ad campaign for our listeners who are coaches, who may be entrepreneurs, on maybe give them 3 points on how AI will benefit their businesses and advance it and help them to get to that next level.
Yes. Yes. For coaches, it's remarkable what a coach can do with using AI. I currently am using AI in regards to developing my social media calendars. I usually have somebody doing the graphics for me, and you can use AI to make the graphics for you. That's one point. Social media and your graphics. Now, the second point is letters. Now, let's say you want to send a sales letter to somebody for your new offer. You have a new coaching program. Well, you can talk to AI and really, really craft a good sales letter that's going to help you promote that program. Now, some of the things people do is they'll tell ChatGPT or Claude, I need a sales letter for XYZ. Well, it knows what a sales letter is, but you've got to give it some information. You've got to talk to it about what is your program like, and then talk about who it's for. And then let the sales letter come out. And you can tell it you don't like it. You can tell it to stay with this you can tell it what words you don't want it to use. Like it has a tendency to use the word delve and dive. It tends to use the word unlock a lot. It tends to use sentences that are complex. So you can say, use simple sentences. Don't use these words. You can tell it, I want it written in the style of, and let's say you really, really, really like the style of Tony Robbins or some other big coach. Maybe you like Jim Rohn. So from that perspective, you know what? I'd be really curious how a sales letter would come out in the style of Oprah. That would be fascinating. That would be good. So social media and graphics, you can have it write your sales letter for you. And then the easiest thing you can do is tell what your goal is this month What is your big, hairy goal? And what are the steps for me to get that done? Let
That
it
is
guide.
such an awesome one for the ending is, like every month, sort of what is your big goal for this month and
Yeah.
asking it for that guidance on how to get there that month.
Yes. Yes. It's actually programmable. You can ask it like, I need some mindset work today, and it's got Tony Robbins programmed into it already. We won't go deep on that right now. We don't have enough time for that scope of a conversation, but have it frame up the steps that you need to do for your goals. One of the things one of my mentors told me a long time ago was every day, take 3 actions toward your goal. And every day, ask for help. Ask someone for help every day.
Oh, that's a hard one for me.
I ditto. I would sit there and agonize for like an hour. Like, Theresa, just ask.
But now we've got our little AI buddy we can ask.
Exactly. I was about to suggest that because that's a hard one for me also. So I'll ask AI. I'll ask one of the AI softwares that I have for help.
That's not the intent. the, the intent is to recognize your humanness.
I know.
Our viewers are used to my cat joining Snickerdoodle. Always likes to be part of the Transforming Lives podcast.
Beautiful. And if you, I encourage the listeners, each of you, hold that vision for yourself. So you get up in the morning and you get happy immediately. So you tune into your vision every morning. Just sit and think about it. While you're having that cup of coffee. And that's going to draw you towards it. Beautiful. Put it in your heart. So when you're transforming yourself, when you're going through a difficult time, when you're being challenged, you have that vision to go to. And remember the wolves. Which wolf is asking for food? Be very careful with that. Discernment's important. And take a basic AI class. I invite everybody to join the Accelerated AI Club. They'll have I'm sure Mitzi and Sharman will share the information for you on that. And
please tell us a bit about I was just about to ask you to tell us about it. So
yes, the Accelerated AI Club was something I started last July. I decided if I needed to know AI, I wanted people around me that also wanted to know more about AI, and we'd all could learn it together. So I learned enough that I taught a short class, and I invited a couple girlfriends, and I asked them, did they learn 3 things in the hour that I taught the class? And they both said yes. So we went from there. I formed the Accelerated AI Club. I bring in guest speakers that talk about a tactic or strategy using one AI tool. We meet for an hour. It's on Tuesdays at 1:00 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And we meet for an hour. If you want to come a half an hour early, we hang out, we catch up with each other. What projects are you working on? How's it going with that book you just wrote? Have you finished your social media yet? The one guy today, he was chatting with us about all those beautiful AI assistants he created to do tasks like emails and write reports and write blog articles. So the Accelerated AI Club is very friendly. It's very open. Everyone that's in there is an entrepreneur. There's everything from one guy has a mediation mentoring business. We have that all the way over to sales trainings people. So it's a great group of people, and I encourage you to check that out, the acceleratedAIclub.com. There's always great ideas in there. The guest speakers have been phenomenal. We even had Molly Mahoney come talk to us in January. And when you join, you do get access to all the recordings of the calls. So we've been meeting now for 2-3 times a month since last July. There's almost a year's worth of calls in there now. And I'm very proud to say that every call has been very helpful for everyone in the membership. I get a lot of great comments from them that they learn this or they learn that. There's always great information being exchanged between the members. And that to me is the most beautiful part of it, is everyone's there helping each other. No one's sitting on the sidelines and just drinking in the Kool-Aid and saying, okay, bye. So the Accelerated AI Club, that's one of my babies. I enjoy that a lot. So I invite everybody to come join me in that.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I was really enlightening. I enjoyed when we had our talk, I think it was last week. And, I said to Sharman, I said, we got to have her on because we got to, share some of this great information. Sharman, do you have any last questions? You want to wrap it up?
No, well, thank you for being here. And I hope that, not I hope, I'll join the club because I love AI. I would love to be a part of it. And all the best to you. All the best with your future endeavors.
Thank you.
And it was great having you as a guest.
Thank you. Thank you. So you feel like you learned something yourself today then too?
Exactly. Of course. Of course.
I love it.
If our guests want to get in contact with you, how can they do that?
Oh, I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn. And I'm happy to take phone calls as well. My number is 954-646-0815. I live in Florida. That's a United States number. Feel free to text me at any time. I do respond to my own texts, 954-646-0815. And feel free to follow me on Facebook and on LinkedIn. I love getting messages from people and making people happy. I'm a really good resource for AI and a fantastic resource for Facebook ads. I've been doing that a long time and it's a fascinating world. I enjoy that a lot. Yes, and I would encourage the listeners, when you're out there and you're looking at an ad, think about why you got that ad. Because that would give you some clues into how you would run your own ads and your own marketing. Why? Yeah. Yes.
We need to get you back to speak about just for 45 minutes to speak about the Facebook ads because I love social media. You didn't leave your social media handles with us.
Oh, okay. I will edit the Google form sheet and add those in there for you.
No, but what's your name on LinkedIn and Facebook?
Dr. Theresa Pantanella.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's the same on both.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you
so
so
much.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. This has been a fantastic time. I've really enjoyed being with all of you. And my goodness, ask somebody for help every day for something. And remember, do 3 things every day. Take action every day towards your goal. I wish everybody all the best.
Okay, bye. See you next time. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Transforming Lives Panel Podcast. We hope that you received some nuggets of wisdom and seeds to plant along your journey of transformation. If you enjoyed what you heard today, we encourage you to let us know and to share us with those that matter in your life. If you would like to connect with anyone from the panel or our guest speaker, you can find all of the ways to connect in our show notes. We have so much gratitude for you, and we are so thankful to be a part of your day. Until next time, take great care.